Thursday's postgame show and used them Friday night by going boom 3 times. Now they say hello to an old friend who has blasted 380 career homers and would love to add to that total tonight. The return of A-Ram, next on Root Sports.
Aramis Ramirez arriving at PNC Park earlier this afternoon and back wearing the black and gold. Of course, this is the place he called home for a short time. He helped christen PNC Park in 2001, and now he looks to lead the Buccos over the Washington Nationals. It's Game 3 of this 4-game series. Greg Brown along with Steve Blass. Really neat to see Aramis Ramirez back. His career has, in essence, come full circle, Steve. And I think he's really happy to be back here to end his career.
Absolutely. I hope he joins the party. These guys have been knocking the cover off the ball. But this guy's been up and down the street. We saw him grow up as a Pittsburgh Pirate. He's very mature. He's a very professional hitter. He's a very professional major leaguer. It's good to have him. I think he'll be a steadying influence, maybe in the clubhouse, at third base, and at the plate.
The 45 home runs here at PNC Park, tied for 6th all time, and a couple of guys ahead of him on that list are retired. So Aramis Ramirez and the Pirates going to work tonight. The Pirates offense has gone to work the first 2 games of this series. Steve, we're seeing the long ball again.
Absolutely. This is like home run derby from the All-Star game. Just knocking the ball not only over the fence, but you can go the opposite way with the power that Alvarez has, and then they're just jumping the ball, not just over the fence, but way, way over the fence. As Cervelli gets to the batter's eye, it just gets better. Pedro hits it in the river. Stay tuned, there's more. What an at-bat, maybe the at-bat of the season for Gregory Polanco. And then Neil Walker, maybe displaying as much power as we have ever seen him. A monster shot, so it has been fun to watch, and it really makes everybody relax. Everybody remember that when they were kids, it was a lot of fun to hit the ball over the wall.
14 runs in the first 2 games of this series. It's the Pirates and the Washington Nationals. Aramis Ramirez is back with the Buccos. And it's the Bucks and the Nats coming up next.
Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Toyota helps you get the most out of your drive. Just ask a friend who drives one. Toyota, let's go places. And by Barrel Automotive, we're driven to be better. Let's go Bucks.
We are here at PNC Park where the Pirates get ready to take on the Washington Nationals. It is game 3 of the 4-game series. Going through their latest ritual, and Aramis Ramirez just kind of watching what is taking place in that dugout, with Sean Rodriguez kind of leading the way. The Bucks and the Nats playing game 3 of this 4-game series. Pirates offense with a dozen hits last night, 3 homers, win 7-5, won 7-3 on Thursday night, 13 hits. And you'd think, Steve, that Ramirez would only be able to add.
Yep. There's enough mistake pitches thrown where he's got the experience, he's got the background, he's got the resume that he has taken advantage of pitchers' mistakes for a long, long time. He goes about his work in a very businesslike fashion. And I think he's going to be a plus for the Pittsburgh Pirates. How about the Bucks getting even with Max Scherzer last night?
Yeah.
That's coming back a long way from a no-hitter. That was kind of fun to see, and everybody loves to see the Pirates hitting the ball over the fence, so we hope that we can continue that. And you've already earned a split of the 4-game series. Now you're in the bonus round, and you got A.J. Burnett, who is just kind of coming on top of everything we've seen this year with this baseball team. What they do at home is phenomenal, both with the bats and pitching. This is home sweet home, and they have just been a delight for these Pittsburgh Pirate fans. So we're hoping for another night. We are going to have another full house at the ballpark on a beautiful summer evening for baseball. I mean, summertime, Major League Baseball, and the Bucks playing hot. Good stuff.
Aramis Ramirez getting ready to patrol that hot corner. He came to the big leagues at the age of 19. Pirates were in Milwaukee when he made his Major League debut.
And he probably doesn't have the range that he did. And he never was a big range guy, but he is very consistent. He will catch the balls that are hit to him. He'll throw with confidence across the infield, and he'll get a nice welcome. A lot of this welcoming noise you're hearing from this crowd directed at the Pirates in general, and I think Aramis Ramirez in particular. So the Bucks rolling along, hitting the ball, and we'll hope for more offense tonight. This has been fun.
A.J. Burnett looking for his 9th win of the season. He is 6th in earned run average in the National League, the Pirate All-Star.
A couple of veterans, Ramirez and A.J. Burnett.
And here is the starting lineup for the Washington Nationals at Williams Club. And the lineup's brought to you by Honda. Michael Taylor will be followed by Anthony Rendon, who has spent most of this season on the disabled list, activated from the DL a second time today. Bryce Harper follows then Yunel Escobar, who has been nursing a sore wrist. He plays for the first time in this series. Clint Robinson follows. Ian Desmond, the shortstop. Jose Lobaton, backup catcher, will be behind the dish. Matt Dendecker is in left. Gio Gonzalez on the mound.
And A.J. Burnett making season start number 20, career start number 24 against the Nationals. His number is brought to you by Hyundai. And he has been doing just fine, especially here in this ballpark. Last time out, he picked up a win. He got the offense that he needed, 10 runs to work with. And he will look for career win number 164. He's 12-6, by the way, in those first 23 career starts against the Washington Nationals.
Check out the defense. And Aramis Ramirez leads the Honda defense at third base. Jung Ho Kang is at short. Neil Walker, Sean Rodriguez on the right side. Starling Marte, Andrew McCutchen, Gregory Polanco in the outfield, left to right, and Francisco Cervelli behind the plate. And Steve and I have been around long enough to remember when Aramis Ramirez was just a young pup coming up through the minor leagues, and all the errors that he committed and all the work that he put in with then infield instructor Tommy Sant. And Tommy Sant, in fact, made a phone call last night during the telecast to pass along the best wishes to his buddy Aramis Ramirez, who has become, as Steve said, the range certainly not what it used to be, but a very solid defender.
Very dependable.
Much like Jung Ho Kang, if he gets to it, he usually makes the play. First pitch underway, and ball one on Michael Taylor.
And a hello back to Tommy Sant.
Yep.
One of the good guys that we've run across. One of the best.
Taylor fouls this one out of play. Remember when Tommy Sant was getting Aramis Ramirez to move his feet, Steve? That was the big thing. Just keep it moving, because he had throwing issues.
How long did he wait for that first major league hit?
Yeah. Aramis Ramirez at third base tonight for the Pirates. Michael Taylor 1 for 10 in the series. And Burnett has an issue. The third pitch.
Right away with
Ted Barrett.
Yep. Home plate umpire and crew chief. And Ted's going to win that one.
Taylor hits it hard to right center.
By the way, how often do you see pitchers arguing balls and strikes anymore? It's quite rare in the big scheme of things, considering how many pitches are thrown.
It doesn't happen very much, that's for sure. We saw the rest of the umpiring crew with Chris Conroy at first and Gabe Morales at second. Scott Berry at third. And there's the crew chief, Ted Barrett. Nats happy to have Anthony Rendon back. He's played just 18 games this year, batting .290. Recently out with a left quad strain. Anthony Rendon, the former first-round pick out of Rice 4 years ago. And they looked like they had him picked off.
He was leaning.
Taylor, who has 10 steals in 13 attempts, indeed was leaning.
There's the attempt.
Very close.
Very close. Yeah, the tag up on the arm, not by the hand. So.
And now the ball thrown past first.
Into the seats.
Into the seats. So back to second goes Taylor. Remember last start for A.J. Burnett in Kansas City. On Monday night, he had picked off Gerard Dyson, but was called for a balk by the first base umpire Jerry Davis.
The ball kind of behind the runner, and I'm wondering if Sean had trouble getting the glove through the traffic of the body of Taylor.
Rendon takes ball one. 1-1.
John Rodriguez, who turned a magnificent double play, finish up the ball game as quick as you're going to see a right-hand throwing first baseman do it. That was textbook stuff.
He can really play that position over there. 1-1 pitch. Now 2-1.
As a starter, you always want to get your feet on the ground in the first inning. So AJ gives up a hit, and then the ball gets away at first base. So you're still kind of looking to get yourself into this, get on solid footing, working in a jam, a minor one at that, but right off the bat.
Didn't want to, but did swing. Well, that fastball.
I'm not going to swing, but I can't help myself. We'll be trying to push Taylor over to third base. Not so much now, though, with 2 strikes.
Oh, big time strikeout for Burnett.
Veteran sequence there. High pitch upstairs and then go back downstairs. Change the level of his eyes and get him to chase a ball that is basically unhittable. Can't do much with that. Down and in.
Rivers Casino tips to win from Steve.
Yeah, sorry to be redundant, but control Harper. It's the 3rd straight night we've talked about that. He is the big deal, the matchup against AJ. And, you know, keep us digging the long ball. We're loving it. Not just the chicks. Everybody likes it.
Burnett against Harper. Harper 263 career average. And there's a hard shot and knocked down by Walker. Whoa. And he is hurting. Neil Walker.
That was a shot.
That was an absolute bullet, and he is in some kind of pain. Trying not to show it, but boy, That was blistered.
I mean, you didn't have time to get out of the way of that thing. So we find a way to control him this first at bat. See, the ball was a line drive for most of the way, but he makes the recovery, and then we'll consider how the rest of our body feels. He might have taken that off the ribs.
Nicely done by Walker. Stay with that bullet. The second out.
So far, the Pirates have controlled Bryce Harper. Just 2 hits in the first 2 games plus in this series. A double, a single, neither one of which have involved any scoring for the Nats.
Here's Yunel Escobar playing for the first time in this series. Yes, he did. 0-1.
So AJ working hard to put up a 0 here as we get things underway. He got a chance to do just that after having a man reach second base with nobody out.
Escobar 5th in the league in hitting at .321. 0-2.
On we go with the theme of batters chasing balls that are nowhere near the strike zone. This goes on day after day, night after night. The pitchers will keep doing it until it stops.
3,473 career strikeouts for Burnett.
How about one more? That is a very good pitch. That was nowhere near the head of Escobar, but it gets his attention for sure. It's a pitch you can certainly get away with in the count. Now it's just 1-2. And now you got all kind of options. You can go back in there thinking that the batter is thinking he's going to go back outside, so the cat and mouse game. But that gives you a little edge, getting his attention like that.
Oh, and the block there by Cervelli. That was a big one.
Phenomenal.
And that's what scramble for Cervelli.
This is what these guys are having to do now with all these pitches in the dirt. These catchers are being called upon to do so much more than in the past.
And he took it off that right wrist again.
Yeah. Doesn't have to look pretty technique wise. It just has to keep that ball from getting behind you. That's exactly what he did. Big time play.
He struck him out. Strands the runner. A couple of punch outs for A.J. Burnett to start this ball game. Four-game series. Check out the starting lineup brought to you by Toyota. Gregory Polanco, 3 hits in the series, getting on base a lot lately. Starling Marte moves up into the 2-hole now. With Andrew McCutcheon hitting 3rd and Aramis Ramirez hitting cleanup. Jung Ho Kang plays short, hits 5th. Francisco Cervelli bats 6th. Neil Walker is hitting 7th against the lefty Gio Gonzalez. And Sean Rodriguez plays 1st, again with the left-hander on the mound.
And Gio Gonzalez, very hot left-hander these days. Last 4 starts, he's been phenomenal. overall, making start number 18. The Pirates have never had a win against him. This is career start number 7 against the Bucks for this very electric left-hander, as they say in the Washington notes. He can strike a lot of people out. Neil Walker recovering after taking that shot from Bryce Harper. The body blow.
Polanco 2 for 4 last night. Thinking about bunting for a hit, fouls it off. And his 4th home run of the year in the game. Bryce Harper stung the ball and then stung Walker.
That didn't get any part of the glove. That got all of Neil Walker. So those commercials he's been making are going to be tested, because he's probably going to be sore.
Yeah. Polanco did not start against Gio Gonzalez back on Father's Day, June the 21st at Nationals Park. Gonzalez went 7 innings of 4-hit shutout ball.
The last time he has suffered a loss was June 15th.
That was the start before the one against the Pirates.
Yep. 2-time All-Star, 2011 and 12.
He can be wild, though he only walked 2 Pirates in that game, 7 innings. But the Pirates were down 9-0 after 1 inning. It was the game that Charlie Morton only got 2 outs. And the Nats coasted to a 9-2 victory.
Very forgettable weekend.
Oh, that's hammered towards center field, sending Taylor back toward the wall. And Taylor will make a fine catch. He stayed with it.
He not only had to give a lot of ground, but he had to deal with that last part of the sun in that section of center field. Almost looked like he was trying to find it, and then found it and was able to get back there and make the play in center field. This ball was tattooed upstairs in that wheelhouse. And the way the ball's been jumping, I thought this was gone. See Taylor get back, take a quick look at the fence. That's a tremendous play.
Yeah, it is.
Not afraid of the warning track, not afraid of the wall.
The sun.
Yep. All those things.
All around.
Big play.
Outstanding play by Taylor. Here's Starling Marte.
There used to be up in the hallway up here on this level a picture of Andrew McCutchen against a sun splashed kind of a background, making a similar type of play.
Marte 1 for 4 last night, a 5-game hitting streak. And Hertel likes the speed at the top of the order. So he said, for now, we're going to have it this way, and feels much more comfortable with a guy with Ramirez's experience. Talking about Aramis Ramirez hitting cleanup rather than Marte.
Gonzalez with an even count against Marte. There he is, number 17 these days.
Three and 2. He's gone to 3-2 on the first 2 batters. You see,
there's no particular pattern to that chart. That strike zone.
Just gets a piece of that.
Just make sure we mention it is the WB Mason strike zone.
Three and 2 the count. Gonzalez, the veteran lefty, 39 walks, 87 strikeouts. We'll have to tell you that that's a broken bat. And out at first base in a bang-bang play.
1-4-3. I thought the minute that Gonzalez slowed it down, we had a real good chance. That's 2 chances I thought we had that didn't work out the line drive to deep center field, and this one it was slowed down a little bit. And maybe he didn't get anything out of it. Boy.
Well, I don't know about that one, huh? See what you think. Pirates deciding whether they want to challenge this one or not. It's so close, and they've decided against it.
Think he got a piece of that ball, Gonzalez?
I'm not sure. On the I thought he did initially. Then the replay,
I did.
I'm not sure. Yeah. It just maybe had so much English on it. Andrew McCutchen to the plate.
Well, we're 0 for 2. I thought we had a chance to be in business here by this time after those 2 at bats.
Did he go? Yes, says the first base umpire. There's Conroy.
Chris has just lost a lot of friends down there at first base.
Two on McCutchen. Career .250 hitter versus Gonzalez. And in 3 pitches he strikes out. So 1, 2, 3 go the Bucks. We played 1. Nothing.
Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Chevy Trax and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're gonna make your day. Let's go Bucks!
Nothing. Go to the second here. Beautiful night for baseball in the Berg. 84 degrees. A.J. Burnett All-Star jerseys. And the veteran right-hander, of course, we always see the Batman T-shirts. Burnett looking for his 9th win, that .244 ERA, 6th in the league. And at the age of 38, he's 8th in the league in innings pitched. Strike 1 on Clint Robinson. Yeah,
there we go.
Keith Reese, cameraman down there.
Going on with AJ and Batman.
0-2. What did AJ say to someone who asked him? A national writer asked him during that All-Star press conference. All the players were around being asked questions at various locations, and someone asked him about the Batman persona. Strike 3 called.
Backdoor man. Backdoor slider.
Third K for A.J. Burnett takes care of Clint Robinson. I guess the guy said, where's this Batman stuff come from? He goes, you don't know what I do when you sleep.
There you go. This curveball starting away from the outside corner and ducking in and picking it up. That's the classic backdoor breaking ball. No left-hand batter likes it, but they give up on the pitch thinking it's going to stay outside.
He's 34th on the all-time strikeout list.
Matching his number.
He's just 3 away from matching Don Drysdale. I'm sorry, Jack Morris for 33rd. Then Drysdale next. 32nd on the list is Don Drysdale. All-time strikeouts. Next on the list is Jack Morris. 1-1 on Desmond.
Kind of fit with these two guys. Batman, and Morris's nickname was Black Jack. Black Jack Morris.
Yeah. And the other way for Desmond.
You know, I had a chance to talk with Jeff Branson a little bit tonight, and he says, you know, I asked him about Desmond's home run last night, which is phenomenal. Down and way in, and just unbelievable piece of hitting. He said Ian Desmond is one heck of a hitter with a lot more power than people think. Respect shown by Pirates batting coach.
We got a taste of Desmond's power the first 2 games of this series. That mammoth home run in the 9th inning against Archimedes Caminero on Thursday. And last night, Desmond went deep against Vance Worley, leading off the 6th inning. Here's Jose Lobaton, veteran switch hitting catcher.
I just automatically think all catchers are double play candidates.
Runner goes. A hit the other way. Liner into the left center field gap. Cutchin will get the ball in. A long single. The ball trickles toward home plate. So
they send the runner and everything works out perfectly for the Nationals.
Desmond took off, Steve. I wonder if somebody didn't deke him, that he didn't score on that. Let's watch. Well, he thought maybe somebody had a chance there.
Yep.
He stopped at second.
Yeah, he had everything right in front of him. Watch him look. He's going to look here.
Well, he didn't know where it was. It's
hit
and run. He picks up the ball late.
Trying to find the ball and then looking out to where it was.
Now, Matt Dendecker. Runners at the corners and 1 out. The infield had double play depth. There's a strike call, but as we saw last night, I don't know if you can turn to on this guy.
He's fast.
He had a ground ball right at Neil Walker last night. Double play situation. They did everything right. Walker to Florimo, the shortstop, but the throw was not even close at first base. He's got special speed from that left side.
You got to strike him out right here.
Another block, and now the runner breaks for the plate, and A.J. Burnett did not cover. And it's 1-0.
Boy, that whole scenario turned upside down. You had him 0-2 with the pitcher coming up. You strike him out, you get the pitcher, you get out of this, but the ball gets away, and A.J. for some reason didn't think about Desmond taking off. Just never made a move, and Desmond very alertly seeing the opportunity. Nobody home at home plate, and now they score, and with a man in scoring position.
One of those things, Steve, I think that even if Burnett just breaks for the plate, it probably freezes the runner.
Yeah.
So Desmond scores. Lobaton to second on the wild pitch. 1-0 Nationals.
This is starting out like that start against the Nationals in Washington, where he kept the game together, struggling all during his time out there. Didn't let it get away, but it was a hard-working day for him.
Strike 3 call.
That's what we were looking for, and then you're looking at the pitcher. That opportunity is gone, but you were looking for a strikeout. 0-2 against Decker, and then get the pitcher, and you walk into the dugout with no score.
The game against the Nationals, to which Steve referred, June 19th, 6 2/3 innings, 14 hits, but he did keep it together, allowing just 4 runs. And Gonzalez hits a drive toward right, and right there is Polanco. Arauz Ramirez will be leading off for the Bucks in the bottom of the second, 1-0 Nats. Inning. So the 4, 5, 6 men will be coming up. Gio Gonzalez made the last out there in the top of the second, so he'll have a little extra time. But Arauz Ramirez got a great ovation when Tim DeBacco, the public address announcer, was going through the starting lineups. In fact, he got the best ovation. And who could forget when he was just a 19-year-old and he made his major league debut with the Pirates back in that 1998 season, and the struggles that Steve mentioned earlier that he had before collecting his first hit. He was 0 for 24 before his first big league hit. That was on June 3rd, 1998 at Three Rivers Stadium. It was a 2-run double off Greg McMichael and the Mets, and he received a standing ovation from the crowd at Three Rivers Stadium that night.
Fourth for the Pirates, third baseman, number 17, Arauz Ramirez.
Very nice gesture by this crowd.
And a nice tip of the cap right there by Arauz. Professionally done.
Yep. And a fly ball to center field. Taylor going back. Makes the catch. As soon as that ball left the bat, I was thinking Sean Dunston. You remember that?
Yes.
When they picked up Dunston from the Cubs?
Yeah.
That playoff run was 97. And Dunston's first at bat at a home run. That would have been something. Arauz Ramirez's return. Line drive out to center field.
Thinking that would have been sweet.
Yeah.
Get that in the gap. Didn't wait on anything. Did Dunston have 2 home runs in that game?
I think so, yeah. And I don't care how old he is, but he had to have some nerves there, some butterflies.
Absolutely.
How many years he's played in the big leagues?
A little bit of emotion, yeah.
Even at the age of 37, and even though he's played here before, he had to be a little bit nervous there.
You have that kind of reception wash over you. That's pretty good stuff.
Jung Ho Kang, 6-game hitting streak. A couple of more hits last night. hits the ball hard down the line in left field, and Dendecker not going to be able to get to it, but he does do a nice job holding Gong to a long single.
Just keeps it going. This young man is carrying a very hot bat. Jung Ho Gung. Very hittable location for that pitch, but not always taking advantage of it. Here it is here.
Jung Ho Gung, a 7-game hitting streak now. Nice job by Dendecker. He can really fly. That ball. Not many left fielders are going to cut that off and hold Gong to a single. Cervelli takes in the dirt. 4 for 8 in the series.
And he not only went deep, but he went real deep. Hitting it basically short hopping the batter's eye over the shrubbery, straightaway center field, his home run.
That was on Thursday night. Francisco Cervelli. Shrubbery.
Nicely trimmed.
Pedro Alvarez, he went to either side of the shrubbery.
That's right.
2 home runs, the one to left center field and the one that landed in the river after bouncing on the river walk.
So you are giving the fans a treat when you hit 3 home runs each night. Doesn't happen each night, but back-to-back nights.
2-1 the count on Cervelli. Cervelli now with 5 homers and 31 runs batted in. He'll have the day off tomorrow with Cole on the hill. Chris Stewart will be behind the dish.
Cole Hill. That's what they used to call Mount Washington.
Yeah, that's right. Did he go? Appeal, yes. Second strikeout for Gonzalez.
Thought he held up. He gets rung up.
It's Chris Conroy.
Again?
Yeah. Here's Neil Walker. 3 for 9 in the series. Flied out against the lefty Sammy Solis in the 6th inning in last night's ball game. He's had a good run recently against left-handed pitchers.
And Gonzalez is one of the better ones in the National League. Out of Hialeah, Florida, 6'2", 210 pounds. Francisco still not really overjoyed with that appeal.
Pops this one up. Harper drifting in. So first baseman Robinson will give way to the second baseman Rendon. Pirates leave a runner as Rendon puts it away. 1-0 Nationals.
Pirates, nothing as we hit inning number 3. I'm Robbie and Smikowski. Well, you heard Greg and Steve talking a couple minutes ago about the home run Pedro Alvarez hit last night that landed into the Allegheny. We have a pretty cool follow-up. So we've identified the kayakers and have a few details to share, and it's actually a pretty cool story. That's the coolest part of the story is Pedro putting one far into the Allegheny on a bounce. So there are two couples right there going kayaking, husband and wives, John and Amy Rhodes and Jackie and Jason Bonomo, just going for a ride in the river when they heard Pedro's name announced over the PA system. So John says to his wife, you watch, Pedro's going to hit one out here to us. Sure enough, a couple seconds later, boom, there it is. Now here's the unique part. This was the first time John and Amy had ever been on a kayak, and their friends, Jackie and Jason, they've done it a lot of times, and they're the ones that overshot it, and that's the result right there. John with a nice photo taken from his wife on the other end of the kayak with his prize. John just wanted to run in and grab it before the ball started sinking a little bit. First time on a kayak. And that happens, Greg and Steve.
Yeah, how about that? They're having a ball.
So John and Amy get the ball, and Jackie and Jason
don't
get nothing.
And they'll like it.
Yeah. I guess John and Amy convinced Jackie and John to go, or Jackie and Jason to go kayaking. I wonder why they wouldn't give the baseball to them.
Yeah, really. That's a good point. You might have to follow up on that.
1-2 count on Michael Taylor, and a strike 3 called. We now go to the studios. Dan Potash and a State Farm game break.
Second baseman, Anthony Rendon.
Now, what about the asking price for Hamels? Wow, how about that? And maybe his last start or second to last start as a Philly. He throws a no-hitter.
Yeah, that's marketing, isn't it?
Man.
That's marketing 101. Marketing yourself.
One count on Rendon. His previous 2 starts, Hamels had a 19.89 ERA.
Figured something out. Who do you think could get him? Got any thoughts?
No, I don't. You?
No.
No.
You're the one that guaranteed he'd be gone last time I talked to you about him.
He will be. He will be.
Guaranteed.
And now when he comes back, when he gets traded, will you come back to me and on the air say you were right?
Yes, absolutely.
You will. No, you won't. You'll forget about it.
I will. See, I respect good judgment that it gets followed through. Mm-hmm. Not all of us do. So I hope you're right.
You don't hope I'm right.
You
hope you're right.
I hope I'm right. Yeah. And I want him to go to the American League.
Yeah,
but I don't think he's going anywhere.
That's a good call.
I don't think he's going anywhere.
Oh, really? You don't think so? Why?
No.
Why not? What reason could there possibly be for them not to trade him?
Because they want to keep him.
Why?
Because they want to keep him. I don't have to have a reason. You have to tell me why they don't want to have him.
Because they're trying to make their team better. And he's the one chip that they have available to them.
Maybe they will start building around him.
Really? Rendon, 3-2 count now. Rendon struck out in the first.
I just don't like the idea of teams giving up good players just because.
Three and 2 the count. Strike 3 called.
AJ.
All these called third strikes.
How about this series?
4 in a row.
Pirate starters striking out people early in ball games.
Yeah.
Liriano, Locke, and now AJ.
Jeff Locke struck out 5 of the first 10 batters he faced. And of course, Liriano had 9 strikeouts through the first 4 innings. This is 6 through the first 2 2/3. Jeff Locke just ran into trouble in the 4th. 3 walks, eventually 4 runs scored. Here's Bryce Harper. That one-hop shot to Neil Walker in the first inning. Boy, he takes one heck of a rip.
That was it Liriano that ran into trouble in the 5th? Locke ran into trouble in the 4th.
Yes.
Well, we've got to get AJ past the 5th inning. Inside.
Hit far to left field. And a nice grab by Marte. Talk about staying with it. Harper lines out to deep left field. 1, 2, 3. Go the Nationals. We're going to talk to Jordy Mercer. Me, coming up next. Our Allegheny Health Network injury update. Pirates shortstop Jordy Mercer is currently on the 15-day disabled list. Left knee MCL sprain. And we are joined now by the Pirates shortstop. Jordy, first of all, how's it feeling? Getting better every day, I assume.
Absolutely. It's definitely from 4 days ago or 5 days ago. It's really improved, and not only range of motion, but just walking, doing just everyday, regular activities. It's gotten a lot better, and that's really positive. And just taking it day by day. And if it's improving this much in the last 5 or 6 days, hopefully we can speed things up and get this rolling.
You're almost surprised at how much better you feel. Going back to, in fact, we're showing it now, the play as Carlos Gomez slides in to your left leg. But when you're lying there on the ground and Todd Thompson comes out, I imagine that's kind of frightening.
Yeah. At first, first of all, it hurt really bad. Let me tell you that much. But there's just all kinds of emotions running through your head, especially when you're getting carted off and you don't know what's going to happen. And that night I didn't sleep at all. Not one minute I slept because I had an MRI the next morning. And just like I said, there's so many things running through your head. You don't know exactly what's going on, and you're just ready to find out some news and start the rehab process and get back on the field as quickly as you can.
And now you're watching, so it's got to be mixed emotions. You're watching them really hit well and win a couple games, but you're happy for watching, but you're not happy about watching.
You know what? Watching on the bench, it stinks. It does. I mean, it's not fun. But like you said, the guys are playing well, and it's fun to watch. Actually, on both sides, pitching's always been one of our strengths, but the offense the last couple of days, we really went off. It's been a lot of fun, especially at home too with this crowd. We've had a really good crowd the last couple of nights, and we played well.
So much fun to get even with Max Scherzer watching that one.
Absolutely.
That's getting even and then some.
Yeah, we definitely put on a performance last night. You know how good of stuff he's got. He can throw. He's got an arsenal of pitches and throwing anytime, anywhere. in a range of miles per hour. You can run it all the way up to 97 or whatnot. And we got after him. We had some really quality bats, and it seems like we wore him down as the game went on. And we got our pitch, we didn't miss it, and it was good to see.
Hey, Jordy, everybody wanted to make Carlos Gomez public enemy #1. Pirate fans don't care for him to begin with, but I guess he did reach out to you, huh?
He did. That was really, really awesome, to be honest with you. I was almost asleep on Monday night after I heard the news. Like I said, I didn't sleep the night before, so I didn't recognize the phone number, so I just picked it up, and he said, "Hey, Jordy, how you doing? It's Carlos Gomez." And I was like, "What? Are you serious?" And he just reached out and wanted to say he apologized, and he's praying for me and my family, and nothing was intentional. It was just a good, hard baseball play, and he wanted to let me know that, and that's that's awesome for a guy to reach out and let me know he's thinking about me, and knowing that hoping I can get back on the field soon.
Well, you got to give him a lot of credit. Now we're at 2 strikes, 2 outs with Gregory Polanco. Hope he has an extended at bat like last night, so we can ask you about Ramos Ramirez. Neil Huntington going out said he wants to make this team better. You guys must be thrilled to have a guy with this kind of a resume.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. We're sick and tired of playing against him in Milwaukee. It seems like he always plays well against us, and to have a presence in our lineup like that, a big bat. Marte's done a heck of a job behind Kutch, but add another piece behind Kutch. There it is.
Oh, tell us about it, Jordy. What's that look like from down there?
Well, look at this guy run.
Is that fun to watch?
You ain't kidding. He's an exciting baseball player for years to come.
You're starting to see it, aren't you?
Absolutely. I think you're just scratching the surface with this kid. When he first got called up, he was raw still, just learning the game, and now he's starting to figure things out. It's a thrill to watch.
Well, that is a bullet to right center field, and breezing into second base.
When he smells 3 bases, it's a different pace because he's got more gears than you're seeing right now.
Well, in the strides, it seems like he takes 1 stride to every 3 of our strides, so he can get there in a hurry.
Strong hot coffee sign. A Pirate fan in the stands as Starling Marte comes to the plate. We're joined by Jordy Mercer. So, Jordy, you're optimistic that maybe they were being conservative with what they said, how long you'd be out.
Well, you know what? I always like to push. I like to beat the deadline. I like to beat I'm not going to push it, obviously, too far, but I want to get on the field as soon as I can, and I'm going to, like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to fight like hell to do whatever I can to get back to where I want to be and get back on the field and help these guys win, man. We're all hungry. We all want to get to the World Series and win the World Series, and like I said, I'm sick and tired of sitting on the bench. I want to get back out there.
Well, you've never been on the DL in the big leagues before, so this is all brand new.
It is. You're right. It is. It's a learning curve. I asked Kutch the other day when he went on last year.
What am I supposed to do?
Yeah. And he's like, nothing. He threw his hands up. He's like, I got nothing for you because it stinks. So.
Well, now, will you travel with the team? What will you do?
Yeah, I'll continue my rehab when we go on the road. Obviously, we don't have as near as equipment as we do on the road, but anytime I can get a day advanced, I'm going to try to do it.
Hey, Jordy, thanks for being with us, and thanks for committing to being with us every game while you're on the disabled list. That's nice of you.
You got it, guys. Appreciate it.
1-0 Nats. 25th, 2013. Pirates score 4 in the top of the ninth, tie the game at 7, but Bryce Harper hits this off Brian Morris, a 2-run walk-off homer. The Nationals beat the Pirates 9-7 on this day 2 years ago. Okay, automotive this day in Pirates history. Bryce Harper 0 for 2 in this game. 2 hard hit balls, one right at the second baseman Neil Walker, and then the line out to Starling Marte. And again, our thanks to Jordy Mercer for joining us in the bottom of the third, and we sure hope he's back soon. He's a very important piece.
Yep, sooner than scheduled.
Yeah. And he's a fun guy and a funny guy. I think he was actually a little bit worried. I think he thought we were serious about committing to being with us every game.
Yep. And I thought he held up well under the barrage of C's.
Yeah, he was anxious to get off the headset as he was getting beaten up. Yunel Escobar struck out in the first. Burnett has 6 punch-outs. What a season, and what he has said will be his final year. Returning to the Pirates after a not-so-great year in Philadelphia.
Well, he's got the perfect body to keep pitching on and on. He's not heavy. He's still limber. He's still got a semi.
Works hard to stay in great shape. All hit well toward right center field. Polanco is over, but that's going to drop up against the wall. And Escobar into second base with a double.
Well, third inning was 1-2-3 for AJ, and now he's going to have to go to work again. Right off the bat with the runner in scoring position, top of the fourth.
See, every hit by these Nats have been opposite field hits. Michael Taylor started with a base hit to right center field. Ian Desmond, his base hit to right. Lobaton, the catcher, went the other way into left center, and now Escobar into right center. A leadoff double. A reflection off the building as well. Hit by the pitch. Robinson will reach. And put 2 on here in the fourth with no one out.
This is continuing to look like that start in Washington against the Nationals. Runners on base all the time. Right on the foot.
Now Burnett against Ian Desmond.
7th batter that AJ has hit.
Desmond, a career 143 average versus Burnett coming into this game. A bunt will move the runners 90 feet. Sacrifice 1-3. We want to see your strongest fan photo. Use the hashtag PittDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. Get them in. A fan photo of the game. T-Mobile. The infield back with Jose Lobaton at the plate.
Looking to address damage control here.
So he goes out in front again, Steve, here. 0-2.
Yep, but almost getting a little feeling early in this game, maybe a little offensive hangover. Kind of flat right now. The Pirates not doing much. Fans waiting for something to cheer about. Just all wrapped up in the struggles of AJ Burnett trying to keep this thing together.
Lobaton has struck out 23 times in 76 at-bats. hit to load the bases.
Oh, Cervelli and A.J. Burnett going to have a talk here. And the Pirates may be lucky that it hit him. Yeah, if it doesn't hit him, it's another run. Wouldn't this be something to get a ground ball double play here? I mean, you just.
Well, he struck out Dendecker looking in the second. One of his 6 strikeouts. Well, the runner at third base is Yunel Escobar. He doubled. Clint Robinson was hit by a pitch, as was Jose Lobaton.
We'll consider the same scenario. Very difficult to double up. You get a pop up or a strikeout and then deal with the pitcher. Step number 1.
Dendecker started in left field last night. He was 0 for 3. Two strikes.
Here we go again. Step number 2. And again, you try to throw a ball he's going to chase outside the strike zone.
0-2. Struck him out looking. 7 strikeouts for Burnett. And 2 down in the 4th.
Sets the stage for a Houdini act. Gio Gonzalez coming into the game 1 for 21. Now 1 for 22. You talk about damage control as AJ paints the inside corner. That is a perfecta. And no drama with the ball in the dirt that time. Oh, here's when you really bear down on your mound opponent. You can smell the opportunity to escape.
Strike 1.
Another ball right on the corner.
Owen won the count. 0-2.
I saw this once. Houdini chained in a cage at the bottom of the Hudson River and escaped.
Maybe see it again. 0-2 on his mound opponent.
And this gets everybody revved up. This opportunity.
Just gets a piece of it.
Well, AJ knows what the possibilities are here too. So does Gio Gonzalez know the possibilities. He's doing everything he possibly can do to put the ball in play. He's not a good hitting pitcher, but pressure on both parties. AJ has the upper hand with an 0-2 count.
And, oh, brother, off of Burnett, a run's going to score. A base hit for Gio Gonzalez. 2-0. Escobar scores. The ball hit off of Burnett.
But is this damage control? Because if he doesn't get it, does it have a chance to get up the middle for 2 runs?
Perhaps.
I almost made that fabulous backhand stop.
Yeah.
You know, one of those things that gets on the highlight reels. He had the glove back there.
And now Michael Taylor.
And these are the times it's so hard to collect yourself. You're so close. One pitch away from just leaving the bases loaded and driving this place crazy. And it didn't happen. And now collecting yourself, because there's still a lot at stake. A lot.
Taylor has singled to right and struck out. Escobar scored on the base hit by Gonzalez. And he's out in front again. 1-2.
It is so hard to collect yourself. That is really deflating when you're that close. You got the pitcher 0-2. He's grinding. He is really grinding here in the top of the 4th inning. He's going to throw his 60th pitch.
Lays off the breaking ball. Michael Taylor 2 for 12 in the series.
It feels like AJ has thrown 100, but he really hasn't thrown. You know, it's not a monster pitch count. But
20th pitch of the inning, and a base hit. This will score a couple. Maybe. Marte will fire toward the plate, and they will get him. Lobaton trying to score on the base hit by Taylor, thrown out by Marte. They get 1 on the base hit. They get 2 in the inning.
Here's the arm coming in, and here's the tag. So really getting all kind of pieces of him.
PNC Park. All students with a valid college email address can save big on tickets in the outfield or grandstand. To purchase your tickets, visit pirates.com/student. All you need is a valid college email address.
So it's a little tougher right now. A little tougher.
3-0.
Yep. That's how tough it is right there.
Thrown out at the plate. Cervelli making sure of the tag. Throw from Marte.
He's kind of throwing himself at any part he can find.
Yes, that's really that's the way you got to do it these days.
Yeah, you got to go find him because he's going to try to avoid you.
Strong throw from Marte.
Both hands out, so what are you going for? Just get a piece of him. Push him out of the way at that point.
Ted Barrett there for the call. Again, Marte's throw.
Francisco sets up, takes the ball up on the first base side. He's got to come all the way back because they're always going around the back of the catcher these days. Nobody's out in front. No more collisions. Everybody plays nice.
That's McCutchen. Second at bat against Gonzalez. Gonzalez struck him out in the first on 3 pitches. 0-1 count here in the fourth. Foul. It's Marte's 8th outfield assist, by the way. One back of Matt Kemp, the National League lead. Did he? Not this time.
Good, Mr. Conroy. First base umpire Chris Conroy taking a look at this from that angle. Correctly saying he did not commit.
Strikes out looking. Fourth strikeout for Gonzalez. Right there on the inside corner. Gets McCutchen looking. Now Ramos Ramirez, first pitch. Leading off the second, lined out to the warning track. Center fielder Michael Taylor.
Right on the knees.
Ball was off the plate. Ramirez was checking with Ted Barrett. 1-2. Two balls and 2 strikes to Aramis Ramirez. 375 home runs as a third baseman. That's 5th on the all-time major league list. An elite handful of players. Checks and takes 3-2. Another appeal, but no, that wasn't close. Mike Schmidt, the all-time leader at third base, as we check out our Barrel Automotive League leaders. Career with rankings among active players. Total of 380 home runs, tied for 7th among active players. There's a drive towards center field, sending Taylor back again toward the wall, and Taylor is there again. Michael Taylor. Another fabulous jump. A very above average catch.
Yep. He got Polanco once and he got Ramirez twice. This ball appeared to have more steam on it, but he runs it down. Well, you can't fault the first 2 at bats for Ramirez coming back. I mean, he just hit the ball right on the button.
He said, what do you got to do here?
Towards the wrong guy, yeah. They certainly don't want to give Gio Gonzalez too much headroom. He is that good. So is that guy. Playing himself a whale of a game. Taylor. In for a strike. Gonzalez, as he said, 2-time All-Star. Also had a great year in 2012, 21-8. Gonzalez finished 3rd in the Cy Young voting that year.
That was his first year with the Nats. 10-game winner last season. Former Oakland Athletic lefty. 2-2.
He had 5 straight years of double-figure wins. He's been very consistent. Put him together with Scherzer and Strasburg, Pfister. Looking at a pretty strong starting rotation when you can keep everybody healthy. It's always a question mark. Looks like Max Scherzer right there.
Gong with a pop-up toward Seats, and a catch made by Robinson. So the Pirates go down in order in the 4th. 3-0 Nats lead. Going to the 5th inning here at PNC Park, where you can save big when you use your Giant Eagle Advantage card. Up to $10 on tickets for every Sunday home game. Just show your Giant Eagle Advantage card at the PNC Park ticket windows. You can also go to pirates.com/advantage card. And Kids Sunday tomorrow, concluding game of this series in this homestand. Bucks will hit the road for a week. Hoping A.J. Burnett can have a quick top of the 5th and see what the offense can do against Gio Gonzalez. Max Scherzer, 5 innings, 5 runs, 7 hits last night. Struck out 8, gave up 3 homers.
Well, Pirates evened up against him and then some.
Rendon has struck out twice, once swinging and once looking.
Everything in slow motion there.
I like the way he finished up that.
Slow motion. Very stylish.
Rather than stop, why not just go through with it like this?
Yes, very nice follow through.
That's great.
Stylish and understated.
Like a golf swing. That was good.
Tempo.
Yeah. Rodriguez going to run out of room. Six hits off Burnett. First run crossed thanks to a wild pitch in the second. Pitcher Gonzalez helping his cause with an RBI single off of Burnett's glove last inning, and then Michael Taylor driving in a run. Rendon hoping to stay healthy the rest of the way. The other way, Polanco. Broken bat line out. 1 down. Time now for our Data Strong fan photo of the game. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. And the strongest Bucco fan we know is Mary Hogue. And thanks for that. Hit Data Strong fan of the game. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Thanks, Mary, for being a great Bucco fan. Another one there.
They're all over the place.
Bryce Harper is at a one-hop shot to second and lined out to left.
Nothing to show for 2 very hard-hit balls.
One.
Nicely done. Breaking ball outside corner. This one down and in. Same pitch, different locations. See where Francisco sets up. Down and in. Try.
Steve, you gave her that sign, huh?
Yep. Well, you tell them what to do, you tell them the signs to bring, and they do it.
Yep.
Justin Bieber.
And that's hit well towards center field. Bryce Harper hits it off the fence for a double.
That close to getting his first home run here at PNC Park. This is the only park he has not homered in the National League.
Career best 22 straight games in which he's hit safely. Burnett thought that was going to be gone. Put his head down after delivering that pitch. Didn't even look up. And it was close. Bryce Harper came in third in the league in hitting, tied for first in homers, tied for fifth in RBIs, tops in on-base percentage and slugging. Escobar lines it to right field. It's first and third. Harper's second hit for Escobar as Harper moves to third on the liner to right.
AJ just continues to swim with the Sharks. It's all kind of problems trying to pitch through this.
Harper had to freeze on the line drive. Now Clint Robinson, who's hit safely in 8 of his last 11 games.
The ball just got out so quickly to Polanco. No possible chance. Even if he starts to run early. It's a rocket to right.
2 on, 1 out.
And we keep on thinking the Pirates have turned a lot of double plays. Here's another one. Try to jam him.
The other way.
Didn't get it in far enough.
4-0. Every Nationals hitter going up there, maybe it's the game plan, whether they're right-handed hitters or left-handed hitters, driving the ball the other way. And a 4-0 lead as Clint Robinson brings home Harper.
Yep. Francisco had the target way inside, and AJ just didn't get it in far enough. Look at Cervelli, and then look at the location. It's very hittable, and he didn't miss.
Bullpen getting the call here. 9 hits for the Nationals. Ian Desmond has singled and sacrificed and scored the first run. Bryce Harper doubles off the fence in center and scores on the base hit by Robinson. By the way, the Cardinals and the Braves are in the 6th inning. In St. Louis, it's 0-0. And Vance Worley up. Worked an inning last night, got the win.
In spite of the home run.
Gave up the home run to this man, Ian Desmond.
On a really good looking pitch.
McCutchen just turned and watched the Desmond home run last night. Struck him out looking. That's the 8th of the game for Burnett. As he faces Lobaton.
Up the outside corner, just trying to keep it together as much as possible. Or
highest strikeout total since May 23rd when he punched out 10 Mets in 7 innings.
AJ scheduled to be batter number 4 in the bottom of the 5th.
Lobaton hit by a pitch last inning, thrown out at the plate by Starling Marte on the Taylor single. Starling Marte picking up yet another assist. There's the final out of the 4th. Bounced foul. It's 0-2 on Lobaton. Base hit in the second inning with Desmond at the plate. Desmond was running on the pitch, and he singled Desmond to third.
Have to tell that youngster what that baseball is all about, and he will.
Fly ball to right. Polanco back. And with just enough room, will make the catch. Another run in. Bryce Harper scoring on the double off A.J. Burnett. 4-zip Nats.
Today at the Miracle League field at the South Hills. Pirates Charities and the Baseball Fantasy Camp for Kids partnered up to host a Miracle League Fantasy Camp. Now, the Bucko Brigade was there along with each of the 4 or 5 pierogies. Were there to lend a helping hand and teach the fundamentals of the game of baseball. Each participating player received a custom Pirates jersey, hat, and gift bag. And how about that field? I don't know how much you might know about the Miracle League field at the South Hills. Steve, I think you know a little bit about that. But former Pirate Sean Casey, heavily involved in the design and construction of that ballpark, and it looks like a mini PNC Park. What a great place for kids with disabilities to play the wonderful game of baseball, and a great day this morning there.
Absolutely. Greg, you and I were there for the opening of that. You did the MC ceremonies, and yeah, it's a great facility. They all are, and it's just unassailable. Just wonderful work that is done on those fields for those kids. And some older kids too, some adults. Terrific. It's just a wonderful,
it really is.
Wonderful project that has just exploded. It's great stuff.
He's always involved. Quite a hurdle, community. Francisco Cervelli swings and misses the first pitch from Gio Gonzalez, who has allowed just 2 hits.
And yes, Sean Casey had a good deal to do with that field out there. And we had a roast for Sean Casey, and a good bit of the funding went out to the Miracle League field out in Upper St. Clair. It was quite an interesting evening.
Well, he didn't swing at a strike, and that helps Gio Gonzalez. Gonzalez has walked at least 1 batter in all but one of his starts. In one start, he didn't walk a man, and that was against the Pirates.
UPMC strike zone shows that ball not even being close.
3 pitches.
We just continue to see those kind of swings, not just from Francisco,
right,
from everybody.
5th strikeout for Gonzalez. Here's Neil Walker. the shortstop. A routine so far for Gio Gonzalez. Just the 2 hits.
Yep.
Desmond, an easy play onto Robinson. Hall of Fame weekend. Here we see Pedro Martinez jersey. He will be inducted into Cooperstown. That's a good class, isn't it?
Oh boy, it sure is. Yep.
Randy Johnson, John Smoltz, Pedro Martinez, and Greg Biggio. Sean Rodriguez bounced out his first time up. Oh, and 2 the count. Aeolius Guerra loosens in the bullpen. Jeff Decker comes out on deck.
Rough night for AJ.
For 4-0. Nationals in front. And a close pitch. Close in that he almost swung. And back to Gonzalez. A 9-pitch inning for Gio Gonzalez. He and the Nats blanking the Pirates 4-0. Shots from the Allegheny Health Network Supermo to the sounds of Social Distortion. This ball's fouled off.
Story of my life, Social Distortion.
Stage AE, August 21st.
Covers a lot of ground. Now the song from Social Distortion, Story of My Life. There's stuff going on there.
One ball, one strike.
Not too much going on here for the Pirates standpoint. And a lot of Gonzalez.
Den Decker has struck out twice looking. And this is going to be a base hit. Broken bat single for Den Decker.
Not with that kind of speed. That was going to be a good chance for anybody, but that's a lock for him where he runs. It's like a perfect bunt.
Basically fooled on the pitch. And ends up with an infield hit. So Gio Gonzalez can bunt him over. This is that try. After 6 innings, the Cardinals and the Braves scoreless. Shelby Miller against Carlos Martinez. Dan Potash told you about the no-hitter, Cole Hamels over the Chicago Cubs. Ryan Howard hit his 17th home run of the year. Hamels beat Jake Arrieta.
I'm saying that Hamels is going to Chicago, the Cubs. My prediction.
Wow, really? Change your tune. Nice bunt by Gonzalez. One away. Brings up Michael Taylor. Taylor with 2 of the 10 hits off A.J. Burnett. He had 1 1-2-3 inning. That was in the 3rd. Taylor, RBI single in the 4th. Strike 1. Even on Taylor. Pirates 6 back of the Cardinals in the Central, while the Washington Nationals lead the National League East by 3 games over the New York Mets. The Mets are pounding the Dodgers tonight in New York 8-1. They're in the bottom of the 5th at Citi Field. And there's a hard hit ball to left. And they will not test the arm this time. 3-hit night for Taylor. Tomorrow, Pirates and Nats at 1:35. All kids 14 and under get a Francisco Liriano Neil Walker Cup thanks to Tops. Get to the ballpark early. Kids can explore the #1 Cochran Family Fun Zone out on Federal Street. And after the game, the kids can run the bases courtesy of the original Pizza Logs. For tickets, go to pirates.com.
Well, you talk about a big night with a bat for Taylor, also with a glove. He has had himself quite a night. He's made some really special catches in center field. And the 3 knocks at the top of the batting order.
And with the bullpen ready, A.J. Burnett needs to get an out. We're likely done for the night. Taylor has 10 steals. Almost had him picked off in the 1st inning. A very close play, and then the very next pickoff try was thrown away, and there goes Taylor. There will be no throw. Taylor's 11th.
You know, this feels like 12-0 right now. Just nothing, absolutely nothing going the Pirates' way, and the Nationals just kind of clicking along behind strong pitching. 11 hits.
And infield in now. 2-0. Cervelli to the mound. A stolen base by Taylor. 24th allowed while Burnett has been on the hill.
I'm wondering if could he have crossed him up. I don't know why he would be out there. I mean, the situation is pretty obvious.
Maybe change the signs. 2-0 count. Rendon just off the DL today. Infield in. He has struck out twice in a broken bat line out to right. That's hit in the air toward right. Polanco is going to make the catch. Runner third is going to tag. Here's the throw. It's cut off. Sacrifice fly makes it 5-0. Dendecker scores.
And that's kind of the way they've been doing it. Hit by hit by hit, and that's going to be it for AJ.
You see a double switch.
Right down the line, and then just a free ride, just turn it loose, but it kind of sailed. And Sean Rodriguez saw it was sailing away from any possible play at home plate, just cut it off.
A.J. Burnett exits down 5.
Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network. Health for all. By Kenny Ross. Just ask a neighbor. And by Levin Mattress. Located in all Levin furniture showrooms and freestanding stores. Let's go Bucks!
We're looking for help. That's the place to look.
5-0. Nationals lead. Boy, what a pretty look that is.
Yep.
The Allegheny. That is sensational.
Yep.
My goodness.
Got the Armada out there. Hoping that the Pirates can come to life with the bats, but so far Gio Gonzalez has been airtight.
Pedro Alvarez takes over at first in this double switch. Dale Guerra,
who has done a nice job. Take a look at the numbers in 7 appearances. A brief sampling of work, but he's taken advantage of his opportunity.
Those 7 games, his only 7 major league appearances.
Throwing a lot of strikes. Got a challenge right away here.
Bryce Harper. At third base, Taylor. 2 outs. Guerra facing the 22-year-old Bryce Harper. And a grounder to Alvarez. To Guerra. Nice work by Guerra to get Harper, but Pirates are down 5. Scoreboard going to the bottom of the 6th inning.
Looks like they're having fun.
Yeah, that is the USS Blast.
Yep.
And you see a Point Park University tweet. You can use the hashtag BucksBooth. 3 generations of Bucco fans in Pirate Country. Look like they're on the beach.
Looks like a good time right
Yeah.
there. Carrying the colors.
Look at those colors.
Sunset.
What a shot, huh? Pedro Alvarez bats against the lefty Gio Gonzalez. He's homered in back-to-back games. Alvarez 0 for 6 in his career against Gonzalez. He's retired 7 in a row, 11 out of 12. He's allowed just 2 hits. Gio Gonzalez.
Those control issues that we were mentioning early in the game have never come to pass. He's throwing a lot of strikes, and with his stuff, when he throws a lot of strikes, he's a handful. Not the biggest guy in the world, 6 foot, 210. But getting it done. You don't have to be a Randy Johnson, although that's not a bad thing. How about the unit that's going into the Hall of Fame when he was on his game? Unhittable, I mean.
Nobody better in his prime.
Yep.
You talk about great Hall of Fame players. We had this date in Pirates history. 2-2 and a shot into right center field for Alvarez. Talk about being on his game against the lefty Gonzalez.
Maybe that's a spark. Jeff Decker started a spark down at the bottom of the batting order. He was pinch hitting. Nothing cheap about this base hit. Get it upstairs, you're playing with fire. Pedro on it.
Base hit off the lefty. Alvarez 6 hits in 30 at bats this year against left-handed pitching. Now Polanco, who's had 2 solid at bats against Gio Gonzalez. Ball to the wall in center field that Taylor tracked down and then doubled to right center his last time up. A ground ball off the glove of the first baseman Robinson. And Alvarez will take off for third.
All right, the door has been opened. All of a sudden, there's a buzz.
Two on, nobody out.
Well, sharply hit to Robinson, but not really crushed. And here's to you, Mr. Robinson. You got us started, perhaps.
There on the first baseman. With Starling Marte to the plate, he can get the Pirates right back in it. And another look at a different angle. Field level, full shot. First and third for Marte. The infield looks for a double play ball. Down 5. And a base hit to right. It's 5-1. Polanco to third.
Oh, those big strides of Polanco
that Jordy Mercer was talking about earlier. Marte with his 52nd RBI.
Yeah, wave it. Little slice action just wide of first base. And all of a sudden this atmosphere has changed.
To 1.
Gonzalez is one of the better pitchers to keep the ball in the ballpark, but you just can't help but think if Andrew can run into something here, boy, you would start hearing some north side noise.
First and third, nobody out.
Gonzalez has only given up 5. Just base hit. Keep it going. Keep the ball rolling.
He has not had good at bats here, Andrew McCutchen. He's been out of sync here against Gonzalez. But that can change, but not good his first 2 ABs.
We have seen him torture left-hand pitching. Not tonight. Yeah.
Lays off. One ball, one strike. One and one. Polanco reaching on the error and then going to third on the RBI single by Marte. Ground ball, base hit to left. It's 5-2.
Keep the ball rolling. Keep the ball rolling.
McCutchen, after striking out his first 2 times to the plate against Gonzalez, singles home Polanco. 60 RBIs for McCutchen in a 5-2 ball game. And look who's coming to the plate.
Good looking pitch by Gonzalez, and it just turns it back around. We're going to have a little conference on the mound. This has kind of got shades of that action against Rosenthal the game before the All-Star break. The Sunday night one was single after single after single.
You say keep the ball rolling.
Keep it rolling. Yep.
Now you look at what the hitters do against Gio Gonzalez. And Matt Williams is coming out. Right-hander Barrett has been up, but after 61 pitches, they hit well over 300 against Gio Gonzalez. So a guy that is not able to go deep in games. And he has been lifted in favor of the hard-throwing Aaron Barrett.
Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
It is a beautiful night for baseball here in Pittsburgh. And just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Somebody turned off the snooze button.
Yeah. Aramis Ramirez comes to the plate against Aaron Barrett. Ramirez 2 lineouts to center field against the lefty Gonzalez. We saw Barrett last night.
Talk about a power arm. 25 innings, 32 strikeouts.
Last night, McCutchen singled off of him. Then Starling Marte hit a ball to the warning track in center before Jung Ho Gong bounced into a double play against Aaron Barrett. Ramirez 0 for 2 against Barrett in the past. 2 on, no one out. Pirates down 3. They have suddenly come to life here in the 6th. Starts him off with a breaking ball.
Certainly not what you're expecting with a guy that can throw in the upper 90s.
Oh, 1. Hold. Yes.
Go from mid-80s to mid-90s in terms of speed.
One ball, 1 strike. And that's a double play ball. Big one off the bat of Aramis Ramirez right to the shortstop Desmond. Barrett gets a big double play, 2 outs. Their Chick-fil-A double play routine.
That doesn't come anymore routine. Could flip it, he could have taken it himself. Ball tried to come up on him, but he stayed with it in between hops.
Ramirez has hit into 13 double plays this season now. It's in the top 10. See if Gong can pick him up. 1 for 2 tonight. And Gong seeing Barrett for a 2nd straight night. Another subject that was brought up in Clint Hurdle's office today. He said, yeah, look at what Gong is doing. Pretty amazing. Just about every pitcher he sees, he is seeing for the very first time. Two 2-0.
He has done a terrific job in just so many areas. Moved him around on the infield, got his opportunity to play, and he really hasn't looked back.
Two balls, 1 strike. Hurdle said today, Clint Hurdle, that Gong asked him about maybe dropping down a bunt last week against a certain pitcher, and Clint Hurdle said, why? He said, well, I haven't seen this guy before. Hurdle said, you haven't seen any of these guys before. Why now? But, hit by the pitch. 94-mile-per-hour fastball, and it's 1st and 3rd. 2 on for Francisco Cervelli.
90-some miles an hour. It doesn't matter where it hits you, it hurts.
It's almost like, not suggesting that's intentional, don't get me wrong, Steve, but it's as if pitchers around baseball are just kind of serving notice to Gong. I mean, it's 12 times he's been hit. Welcome to the big leagues.
Yeah, well, That's enough testing.
Yeah.
That's more than enough testing. I don't see him backing off any. I don't really think they've proven anything.
It's tied for second most in the league in terms of being hit by pitches. Anthony Rizzo of the Cubs has been plunked 21 times. Young and Lucas Duda of the Mets 12 times. First and third, 2 outs, looking for a big 2-out hit now from Cervelli, who struck out twice against Gonzalez. Up the middle, a base hit. Wow, is that big?
Huge.
From Francisco Cervelli.
Keep the ball rolling.
5-3. 2-out hit from Cervelli.
And Greg, we've said it so many times. You're down 5-2, and you just get one more, and it's 5-3. It doesn't seem like much, just one run more, but it seems so much closer. Now you really feel like you're in range. And Matt Williams wants another pitcher, or I think he does. At least wants to talk to everybody.
Well, Neil Walker, the switch hitter, is going to be turned around as Francisco Cervelli delivers a clutch 2-out single up the middle to make it 5-3. The Allegheny Health Network Supermo. Pirates are back in it in the 6th. A 5-3 game. Moments after Ramos Ramirez had hit into that double play, Pirates had 2 on, nobody out. Then Gong was hit by the pitch, put runners at first and third, and Cervelli singled up the middle. Neil Walker will be coming to the plate and batting right-handed. Last night as a left-handed hitter. This is his home run. It traveled some 456 feet, hit it off of Max Scherzer, his 8th of the year.
Monster shot.
Now Walker again batting right-handed. He has 8 hits in his last 20 at-bats against left-handed pitching.
Numbers for Rivero. First appearance number 16. 17 innings, 19 strikeouts. Another power arm out of the bullpen for the Nationals.
One of several rookies on this club. Aaron Barrett back in the dugout. High heat.
96 miles an hour. Well, how about rolling another ground ball through the infield? Seems to be working.
He's
not fooling around, is he?
Odd looking
How about
catch
that?
from Lobaton.
Yeah, 96-97 on the corners. Sorry, that's almost too tough. That kind of speed, that kind of location. Tough take. He hasn't been near the middle of the hitting area yet.
Oh,
that's
man.
how close that was. That's throwing 3 perfect pitches.
24 years old, from Maracay, Venezuela. Felipe Rivero, the rookie, with 2 on, 2 out.
I don't blame Neil for stepping out and taking a breath.
Toward right, and Harper will make the catch. The Pirates score 3 times to get back in the ball game. Going 3 times to get back in this ball game, going to the 7th inning. Joe Ross, the rookie, will start tomorrow afternoon against Garrett Cole. Ross went 7 1/3 innings, gave up 1 run, struck out 11. Back in D.C. in June against the Pirates. Nissan Road Ahead featuring Garrett Cole looking for that 14th win. Joe Ross against Garrett Cole tomorrow. Nissan Road Ahead. Ryan Zimmerman is on the DL. Bryce Harper helping lead the Nats, having an outstanding year. And Starling Marte coming up himself with a big hit. The RBI single off of Gio Gonzalez. Deolis Guerra. Yunel Escobar. Guerra got Harper to ground out in the 6th. Escobar, a couple of hits and 3 at bats after missing the first 2 games of the series with a wrist issue. Big key now for Guerra to put up a 0. Deep to left, off the wall. Marte towards second base. Oh, if it had been closer to the bag, he had a shot at getting Escobar, and that would have been an all-timer.
Yep, better than a shot. I thought that throw was in plenty of time, just wide of the mark. You don't know with him. It's always possible for him to make that play to second base. He just has that kind of gun. Speaking of guns, that ball, when it was hit, sounded like it was shot out of a gun. His arm is that strong. Yeah, that throw is going to be there.
That close to being out of the ballpark. And then just a few feet from nailing the runner. So now a leadoff double. Here's Clint Robinson. They have missed Escobar's bat in the first 2 games of the series. Second double tonight, 3 hits. Robinson on base twice. RBI single to left in the 5th off of A.J. Burnett.
You know, Greg, veteran Pirate fans will remember Willie Stargell coming up to the Pirates as a left fielder in Forbes Field when the wall down the left field line, I think it was 365 to the foul pole, and he made it very interesting, similar to the way that Marte can make it interesting. Willie Stargell had an absolute gun. Some people feel it was stronger from a pure strength standpoint than Clemente. He had an absolute straight overhand delivery to second base. It was fun to watch. Talk about Pirate outfielders with guns. Dave Parker, that all-star exhibition he put on. Some very strong arms.
More recently, Jose Guillen had as strong an arm as anybody. And now Marte showing that cannon. 3-0 on Robinson. And you think, you know, one area, Guerra's he's done a nice job. This is his 8th appearance in the major leagues. Nice job so far, but you really do get the feeling that the Pirates would, if they can, would like to maybe add an arm to the bullpen to bridge it to Hughes and Watson and Melanson.
Nice off-speed pitch.
Shallow left, Marte. As the shortstop Gong veers off, and that is a big out for Guerra. Come back from a 3-0 count to get Robinson.
And you take a look at this good changeup that's popped up. You think about guys that are the middle guys, and many times they come in games that are out of hand. But then you also have to test them when the game compresses, and now the game gets back online.
When the game is closer.
Yep, you got to see how they handle that, because they're invaluable coming in when the starter struggles. You need those guys to give you innings.
So the buzzword these days is high leverage. It's really just higher pressure.
Yeah. There's more involved. Yeah.
The swing of Desmond. See how this Garrett changeup maybe matches against Desmond. The Pirates bullpen lights out, of course, when it comes to Watson and Melanson. And Jared Hughes, especially with men on base, has been so dependable. Now Hughes is not available tonight, according to Clint Hurdle. So you're wondering where he might be. 7th inning often belongs to him. This is a high pressure situation for the rookie Guerra. He's been up to the task so far.
And one last thought about arms. We will never forget the Guillen throw in Colorado from right field to Keith Osick at third base. I mean, that is etched as one of the ones we will not forget.
Yeah, one of the greatest throws in Pirates history for sure.
Good trivia question. Who was playing third base at the time? It was Osick. Backup catcher to Jason Kendall.
Who was the runner for the Rockies?
That was Keith Osick also.
Oh.
That's what made it so spectacular.
That's special. Yeah. 1 ball, 1 strike on Desmond.
Who was it?
Don't know.
Yes, you do. You're toying with me now. You know.
No, I don't. So the bullpen, Matt Thornton, another hard thrower. It was Nafi Perez who got thrown out at third, by the way.
Good, thank you.
One and 2 on Desmond. They stay away from the fastball again. He's a dangerous hitter. 2 and 2. He'll strike out his fair share, but he's got the power.
He has got a ton of power. We have seen it this weekend already.
Still 2-2. So I was going to say, Steve, that this date in baseball history, we had this date in Pirates history, it was on this date in 1890. Cy Young's last minor league appearance at the age of 23 before going to the major leagues, struck out 18 batters, tossed a no-hitter. He was playing for Canton in the tri-state minor leagues against McKeesport.
How about that?
How about the history of this western Pennsylvania area? Cy Young's last minor league appearance was against McKeesport.
How about that? And how about minor leagues till he's 23 and he wins 511 games?
Exactly. 22-year Hall of Fame career, 511 victories. And there's a drive to left. There's the power of Desmond. A line drive home run. And a 2-2 pitch. His 11th of the season.
And that is a heartbreaker. There's still a lot of baseball, but that, after the Pirates answered with a 3 spot, they come right back and re-answer.
He's homered in each of the first 3 games of the series, 7-3. Let's see where the pitch was. It was an off-speed pitch right there. He was on it, a line drive home run. My goodness.
You guess right on that speed and that location. That's a buffet.
This ball hit well toward right field. Polanco, though, has some room. Lobaton is retired for the second out. After the Pirates had gotten to within a couple, Deolis Guerra serves up a 2-run homer. Of course, Escobar nearly homered off that padded wall and left. $11 on the year for Desmond. Meantime, the Cardinals have a 1-0 lead hosting the Braves. They're in the top of the 9th. The Pirates, who just before the All-Star break did so much hard work getting to within 2.5 of St. Louis in the Central, and swept by the Brewers in Milwaukee, lost 2 of 3 in Kansas City. The Cardinals righted the ship, and they're threatening to go 7 up now in the division. Chicago Cubs will be coming in the next homestand.
Divisional representation.
Cubs lost that no-hitter. Paul Hamels no-hit them. 4-3 on the putout. 2-run homer. And the Nats lead by 4 thanks to the Ian Desmond line drive home run. Desmond hitting his 11th. See if the Pirate offense can come back in the bottom of the 7th. At 7th inning stretch time here at PNC Park, with the Buccos down 7-3 to the Washington Nationals. We'll keep it right here.
And join everyone watching at home on Root Sports as we sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
MLB.TV Premium for live or on demand on over 400 devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, and more. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Jeff Decker will pinch hit for Dale Esguerra.
Another night at Kennywood. Not much happening. We had that spark. 3 quick runs. And give 2 of them back. Up, down, and up, and back down. Currently with 3 more shots. Jeff Decker got it started last night.
And Desmond hitting the home run to put the Nats up 7-3.
Wow. Ball looked like it was heading right for his head, and he got it away from his head with a foul ball. Well, maybe not so much, just that far inside. Should call really getting in your kitchen.
Felipe Rivero. Decker, by the way, hit .276 against lefties in the minors this year at Indy. Really, his split's about even at .275 versus righties. A guy that came with a reputation of being able to get on base and battle. High on base percentage. Going back to his years in the minor leagues with the Padres. This is a tough battle here.
Trying to keep up with 96-mile-an-hour
for the left side. And a line drive toward right. Harper's going to come on and make the catch. Let's go back to Dan Potash for a game break.
They find ways, don't they?
I mean, just another one. Steven Scotty comes up. Randall Grichuk has been tremendous this year for the Cardinals. It seems like everybody they bring up produces. Pedro Alvarez single to start the 6th off of the lefty starter Gio Gonzalez. Cardinals, by the way, have now won 5 in a row. With the Cubs losing and the Giants were winners, suddenly the Cubs have fallen out of the second wild card spot. They've had it most of the season. The Pirates own the top wild card spot. Now the Cubs a game and a half out of that second playoff spot behind the Giants. In terms of the division, which is still what the Pirates have their sights on, they're 6.5 back of the St. Louis Cardinals. You see the Cubs have fallen to 11.5 out. This road trip coming up. 2 games interleague series against the Twins on Tuesday night and then Wednesday afternoon, and then to Cincinnati for a 4-game series, and back home against the Cubs and Dodgers. And then on the road, starting August 11th, a 3-game series against St. Louis. 3-1 count. Hit well the other way, going back then Decker to the warning track. And Alvarez once again gives it a ride. 2 outs.
I keep looking back to the top of the 4th inning when Gio Gonzalez with 2 strikes hit that ball off the glove of A.J. Burnett, and A.J. came that close to leaving the bases loaded, that close. And it's just been kind of a steady issue since then. But that still becomes, in my mind, the turning point.
Even with that, though, the fact the Pirates rallied for 3 to get to within 2, and you felt like the momentum had swung in the Pirates' favor, but the 2-run homer by Desmond and that mountain higher to climb.
Yep.
Polanco reaching on the Clint Robinson error. 3 runs against Gonzalez, just 1 was earned in the 6th inning. Felipe Rivero, the rookie. Talk about the Pirates wanting to shore up perhaps their bullpen. And these Nationals would like to do the same, but Rivero is able to, even though he gives up essentially 4 hard hit balls, he gets 4 outs. Story of his family's journey from Cuba to America. Garrett Cole prevails against the cream of the crop, and much more. Inside Pirates Baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network, debuts tonight after postgame on Root Sports. 7-3 Nats going to the 8th inning. Yes, strikeout cancer. Signs here at PNC Park. Archimedes Caminero takes over, comes the 3rd pitcher to work.
45th appearance.
A lot of talk recently about Caminero and his mechanics. Trying to get better angle. Downhill plane, as they say. And the fastball that
straight.
Yeah. It's been a tough go for Caminero. But as Clint Hurdle said, this is his first year of the big leagues. And not to beat a dead horse, but it's another reason I think why general managers really do try and, when they look at the bullpen, try and get the veteran presence in there. Because as you get down to August and September in a pennant race and then into the playoffs, to rely on younger pitchers and rookies, it can be a gamble.
Yeah, I think it's a little more binding. And it's been that way forever in baseball. When you come in and your team is behind it, it's more comfortable. It's not comfortable trying to protect the lead. It's just not comfortable, and it's a whole different feel. Not that it's comfortable, anytime you come in, but the heat's really on when you're on top trying to protect it.
Casey Jansen up in the bullpen for the Nats. There have been rumblings that the Nationals might be interested in Jonathan Papelbon. But Papelbon has pretty much let it be known that he wants to close wherever he goes. Closer with the Nationals, of course, is Drew Storen. Emmanuel Burris batting
29
for Rivero. Full count. Max Scherzer chatting with Steve McCatty, Matt's pitching coach. And it's still 3-2 on switch hitting Emmanuel Burris.
It's his 4th at bat.
He's had big league experience in the past. Joe Ross will pitch tomorrow. Tyson's brother. Against Garrett Cole. And outstanding speed, and Emmanuel Burris, you have to figure he's going to be taking off soon. He's aboard the free pass from Caminero.
There is a glove right there. No errors in that glove.
Michael A. Taylor with 3 hits, an RBI, a stolen base. Paying attention to Burris. Burris 10 steals at AAA this season. Pirates AAA affiliate Indianapolis taking on the Louisville Bats tonight. 2-2 game in the 10th. Reds top farm club. Alfredo Oscan, who was up for a time with the Pirates, started and went 5 innings, gave up a couple of runs on 3 hits. And this ball hit well to center field by Michael A. Taylor. And that is crushed. His 7th home run. It's a 4-hit night. Michael A. Taylor, a 2-run bomb. And that might just put it away. 9-3 Nationals.
What a night he has had. 4 hits, 3 tremendous catches. And that is the sweet spot.
.96 miles per hour, and again, it's a broken record. We talked about it with Caminero, not just recently, but really since the start of the season. What is it about a right-hander who has the fastball, the speed of a guy like an Aroldis Chapman, but yet big league hitters can turn a fastball around?
Well, Clint Hurdle was quoted in the paper today saying guys in this league at this level can deal with high 90s heat. If it's, and his point was, if it's straight, you know, if you got an angle, you got to deal with not only the speed, but where that ball is starting and where it is when it gets to home plate. If it's the same height the whole way, well, then it makes it a little bit easier. It's never easy with that speed.
Rendon at the plate is caught looking after the home run by Taylor.
A lot of people agree with you, Greg. Clemente Bridge is very busy.
Yeah. People have pretty much decided that they'll get a jump on the traffic and hope for better things tomorrow. Here's Bryce Harper. This should be an interesting matchup. Caminero against Harper.
Nationals trying to get even all at once, and they can't. They can win this one, but Buck's still going to be up in the series 2-1. And who knows? We've seen crazier things happen.
Harper's average at .332. Takes 2-0 now. Now Tanner Roark with the game maybe not out of hand, but close. Roark was going to get some work in.
That's just a foul ball. What a swing that is. And it's just
vicious.
It's different.
Violent.
It's different from other swings.
Every time he hits the ball, it looks and sounds different. I mean, what is he going to do numbers wise if he stays healthy in his career? He's just 22. To left. Marte nearing the wall, makes the catch.
Even that has drama to it.
People don't necessarily care for Bryce Harper, some things he's said or done, but you cannot dispute the fact, you've talked about this for a long time. Once you get to the big leagues, do you want to be great?
Yeah,
that guy wants to be so great. He wants to be. He said early on he could be in the Hall of Fame. He wants to be in the Hall of Fame.
And it starts with, I want to find out how good I can be. I don't want to just get here. He doesn't deal with the comfort level of having gotten to the big leagues. That's you're bordering on the word obsession.
Yep.
Maybe just more than bordering on it.
Yeah, he's obsessed with being great.
Yep.
Three-hit night for Escobar. 14 hits for the Nationals. And Aramis Ramirez on to first, just getting the runner. That's the first play that Aramis Ramirez has had tonight. Defensively, 9-3 Nats. The eighth inning, game 3 of the 4-game series. Another sellout, 3 straight, 38,185. 14th sellout of the season. And it got very interesting when the Pirates took advantage of an error in the 6th. Ended up scoring 3 runs, got to within a pair, but Deolis Guerra giving up the 2-run homer in the 7th, and Archimedes Caminero a 2-run homer in the 8th. And now the Nats in a comfortable 6-run lead, and Tanner Roark, he gave up a couple of runs, gave up a 2-run homer to Andrew McCutchen on Thursday night. Faces Starling Marte. Marte an RBI single his last time. And to the shortstop, Desmond, for the first out in the 8th. Roark was started and relieved. They were hoping to get Steven Strasburg back to solidify the rotation. They still have a bunch of players on the disabled list. Talking about an interesting final week before the trade deadline next Friday. Steven Strasburg pitched a simulated game here, hoping he returns before too long.
Everybody trying to get healthy.
After this series, the Nationals go to Miami for 3, and then to New York to take on the Mets. The Mets are leading 15-2 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Juan Uribe did not start, but he did bat in the ball game. He apparently got there later. Uribe picked up a trade yesterday. Matt Harvey in 7 innings, giving up a couple of runs. The Mets not giving up on the division, starting the day 3 back of the Nats in the National League East.
Looks like
Kelly Johnson, I'm sorry, Steve. Kelly Johnson also came over in that trade. As McCutchen goes down on strikes for a 3rd time, he homered his first game as a member of the New York Mets.
they've had no trouble with the Dodgers tonight.
No. Lucas Duda also hit a home run. In fact, he's hit 2. Ramos Ramirez to the plate. We've got some Point Park University tweets as Ramirez returns to the place that brought him to the big leagues, Pittsburgh. 0 for 3 in the ball game. First 2 times up, line to the warning track in center field, and then line to the wall in center before hitting into a double play in the 6th. But we mentioned earlier, he's 5th all time in home runs among third basemen. Count now 0-2. Pretty impressive list. We're talking about all the great third basemen and base. Mike Schmidt, of course, 509 home runs. Eddie Matthews with 486. Chipper Jones 389, and Adrian Beltre also still playing for the Rangers, 374. Traded for a minor league pitcher on Thursday.
And along the way through this whole journey has kept himself in pretty good physical shape. He really has taken good care of himself.
And again to center field. And again Taylor, this one easier for the final out. 1-2-3, Pirates retired in the 8th. Trailing 9-3 to the Nats. Ninth inning. Jung-Ho Kang is going to move to third base. Pedro Florimon takes over at shortstop. He's now wearing 23. He had been 17, and now that belongs to Aramis Ramirez. Ramirez had 16 his major league career, but now 17. Nick Leyva, the first base coach for the Pirates, has number 16. Strike is called on Clint Robinson. And this is a move that Clint Hurdle admits he might do more often, even in tighter games. The Pirates have the lead. We've seen Sean Rodriguez take over at first base defensively to give the Pirates a better defensive look. He will do this. Florimon at short, Kang at third. Brent Morel was optioned back to the minors to make room for Aramis Ramirez. And Robinson is retired to start the ninth. He brings up Ian Desmond. Desmond 2 for 4.
Having himself a fine series.
Want to know on Desmond. Two and one. And that misses. 3 balls, 1 strike, 98 miles an hour. Pirates winning the first 2 games of the series 7-3, 7-5, but now down 9-3. And a walk. Caminero walked Manuel Burris to start last inning and then gave up the home run to Taylor. Let's go downstairs to Robbie.
Well, Greg, a little while ago you talked about Jordy Mercer and if he's coming to Minneapolis, which he is, and if he's going to join you guys on the airways. I guess he is, kinda. He's going to be our guest on Twitter Tuesday from Target Field. Send in your questions now. Start giving it a look. The hashtag is Bucks Tuesday. And there'll be some pretty interesting stuff with Jordy. I'm sure we'll probably cover the gamut. Jordy, maybe the most media-friendly guy we have here in Pittsburgh.
Ball knocked down. Hard hit ball, but they do not get an out. And now Florimon spiked a little bit. Runners at first and second. Yeah, we weren't really able to go into any deep discussions with Jordy Mercer. We had the half inning and it was rather quick. So your opportunity will come up on Twitter Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. The play by Kang on our Allegheny Health Network Supermo. And I believe they charged him with an error.
He has been very sure-handed. Florimon gets nicked.
E6 for Jung-Ho Kang, his 8th error of the season. 2nd error of the night on the Pirates. And a strike on Matt Dendecker. E5, I think I said E6. He's now, of course, at third.
Shifting has led to those kind of issues.
And he's over there to make that catch for the 2nd out. And with a comfortable lead, Tanner Roark will get a chance to swing a bat. Bucks out hit 14-6 in this one. Well, that Mets lead is 15-2 at home over the Dodgers. They out hit LA 20-6.
I'm assuming that Kershaw didn't start.
You are correct, sir. Dodgers earlier said that they weren't going to trade Yasiel Puig. He's been the subject of some trade rumors. Now, Zach Lee started, a rookie, today. The ball bounced to Gong, and he throws out Tanner Roark. Head to the bottom of the ninth. Pirates down 6 to the Washington Nationals. Cole will take the hill for the Pirates. Coverage starts at 1 o'clock with Pirates pregame, presented by WB Mason here on Root Sports. Looking for a series win tomorrow. Bucks down 9-3. Going to the bottom of the ninth inning. And the Pirates will hit the road for a week. You know, when the Pirates are away, and I know a lot of people go down to see the Altoona Curve. Pirates AA affiliate in the Eastern League, and they've got the West Virginia Power down in Charleston. Now they've got the new West Virginia Black Bears down in Morgantown. So even when the Pirates are away, still a chance to see some baseball, see some of the prospects.
A lot of people haven't given up. They're still here. A lot of the kids happy to be at the ballpark, staying up late tonight.
Jung Ho Kang fouls it off. The West Virginia Black Bears played today down in Morgantown. Tonight they just finished up a 3-0 shutout. And they are 19-16. The New York Penn League, first year of the West Virginia Black Bears. John Holtzcomb back active and trying to get back to AAA Indy. Pitched a scoreless inning and struck out a couple. Good friends, the Riches, Bob and Mindy, owners of the West Virginia Black Bears.
What a facility they have down there.
Oh, man.
Wonderful setting. Just an hour
you
away.
Threw out a first pitch, didn't you? Opening night.
Yep. One of the opening nights. Yep.
On strikes goes Gong.
It's a facility they're going to share with the WVU baseball team, and a great setting. Yeah, it's an hour away. Take a shot down there when the Pirates are out of town.
They treat you well, don't they?
They do. They do. They know how to do it well. That family you're talking about, the Rich family,
they are the best.
They put together an organization that knows how to treat their fans well and thank them for caring enough to be out to their ballparks.
They own a couple of other minor league teams, and of course up in Buffalo, Buffalo Bisons. Definition of class, those folks, the Riches. Strike on Cervelli. He has struck out twice and singled in a run. That base hit up the middle in the 6th inning. Brought in Starling Marte, made it 5-3, made it very interesting, but the bullpen for the Pirates couldn't hold the Nationals, and things got away. Roark pitched a 1-2-3-8. Should be a good matchup tomorrow.
Just thinking of that. Yep.
Ross and Cole. You know he'll be ready.
Yeah, number 45 will be ready to go on a Sunday afternoon. Mr. Ross, very impressive against the Pirates when they were in Washington.
Three and 2. Joe Ross just starting his big league career, making his 5th major league start tomorrow. 2 and 2 at 2.70 ERA. Garrett Cole trying to win his 14th. Well, Francisco Cervelli has a 2-hit night.
He just continues to hit.
Yeah.
Just very, very steady. Not all that many highs and lows.
And, you know, Steve, in a 9-3 ball game, there are times when people say, well, okay, let's kind of shut it down, get him tomorrow. This guy never gives up an at bat.
No,
never.
He does not. He just wears it on his sleeve. He likes the action.
Yeah.
He likes being out there. He likes the action.
Dribbler left side. Barehand play by Escobar to get Walker. Two outs in the bottom of the 9th inning, and Travis Ishikawa will pinch hit.
Good looking play. This will not get much attention in a 9-3 ball game, but that's pretty smooth infield play right there. So the euphoria from the 2 home run nights has waned somewhat, but as you say, strap it on and do it again tomorrow behind Garrett Cole.
Try to win a series. Ishikawa the other way. Dendecker will make the catch, and the Nationals win game 3 of the 4-game set. And Michael A. Taylor, an impressive night defensively and showing off his skills offensively. 4 hits, drives in 3 and hits the 2-run homer. Ian Desmond goes deep again. He's homered in each of the 3 games of the series, and Gio Gonzalez gets the W.
Yep. One of those nights. Can't win them all. The Pirates have been dazzling at home. They win the first 2 of the series. We'll come back and, as I said, try to take the series tomorrow afternoon with Garrett Cole.
And a lot to discuss yet with Dan and Teak.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. You know, in the first 2 games of the series, Teak, the Pirates got good pitching but great hitting. Well, tonight, the pitching wasn't so great, and the hitting couldn't help him out.
No, it was. This was a night where this is just a ball game you're going to lose. You didn't hit very well. AJ didn't pitch very well at all, and that combination, that's one of those nights when you're just destined to lose. So you've lost one game out of the first 3 in a 4-game set. You've still got you got the split in place, and you still got a chance to win the series 3-1. That's the way you have to look at it.
Well, just as we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, presented by Miller Lite. Ian Desmond homered in each of the first 2 games of the series. We'll make it 3-3. This 2-run shot in the 7th gives the Nationals a 7-3 lead. A little more insurance, because we all need to be in good hands. The Nats add a couple more and take game 3 of this 4-game series, 9-3, your final. Okay, we are just getting started. Post-game interviews, you'll hear from manager Clint Hurdle. A historic day in Chicago that actually helped the Pirates, courtesy of our friends in Philadelphia. We'll also have our Ask Pete segment and much more. Pirates post-game, presented by Allegheny Health Network, is coming up next as the Buccos hopefully can find a way to bounce back tomorrow afternoon as they wrap up this very brief 4-game homestand. But tonight, it's all Nationals. 9-3 your final. Stay with us. The post-game show is coming up next.